I needed that
Cameron
reminder
is
today.
coming.
Thank you.
I know. I will write it really big on my fridge. Hey, everyone. Oh my gosh. I am so delighted and thrilled to be with you all. Oh, I missed you last month. I tell you, everybody's coming in. Hilda has come. Nora's joining. Marilyn is coming. Deb is here. I love this. All right. So, welcome aboard, my friends. I am Chef Christine Van Bloom, and I am so darn happy to be here with you today. I love seeing all of these people coming in. If this is your first time joining us, what I like to do at the beginning of every class is a little roll call because it just, I'll quote my grandmother, I'm just tickled when I see where everyone is coming from. So if you can put in the chat where you live, where you're saying hello for. I see Sheila is here. Sheila and I are always talking to each other through Facebook. Sheila, you are the best. I'm so happy to have you here. Now, am I missing Eleanor? Is there a chat
Christine,
going?
I believe because the class is so large, there is no chat function.
There's no chat?
I'm not seeing a chat function on my side.
No, there's gotta be. There's gotta be. We're not giving up. We're not giving up. There's gotta be. Hold on. I see all of our participants. Oh my gosh, that's the best part of the whole thing.
I know. Well, we could ask people to come off of mute, say where they're from.
No, that'll get a little confusing, I think.
Okay.
Hang on. Well, I'll be darned. All right. So we're just going to rock and roll. And then is there, Eleanor, there's no closed chat?
I don't see
There's
one.
just no chat.
Don't see one. If I happen upon it, you will be the first to know.
Okay. All right. See what you can find. And I'm going to get started talking to all of my friends. I can see that I've got Bernice and Donna and Antoinette. And oh, it's just a little blurry for me. I think it's Heidi and Jasmine and Rose. I feel like Eleanor, you're too young for this, but I forget the gal on Romper Room back in the day, and she had her magic mirror that I really thought was magic, and it was this mirror without a mirror in it, and she would say, "Oh, I see Phyllis, and I see Christine." Only she didn't say Christine very often. So, welcome aboard, everyone. August, so thrilled to have you here. Oh, things are happening. Eleanor, did you just put onto a whiteboard?
I think that is someone else. Jessica. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Sorry.
All right. Today we are making 3 things, summer meal, super easy. We're going to do a little marinated skirt steak because is that the perfect size for 2 people or 1 person? I've got people coming for lunch, so I have 2. But isn't that amazing? I think that's so good. We're going to do a little couscous salad, and then I'm going to show you the cheatiest, easiest dessert you're ever going to make in your whole life. While Eleanor is hunting for a chat for us, we're going to go through all of this.
I actually put up a poll so people can feel free to answer, to tell us where they're joining from, and then I can shout those out for everybody.
So please, I love it. Let's start there.
Let's
start there. All right. So while you guys are answering the poll so that we can get a shout out to everyone, there we go. I'm going to, oh, there it is. Tell us where. I love having somebody technologically savvy on our side. I love it. God bless Eleanor. All righty. So we've got these little skirt steaks. Best thing we can do for a skirt steak is to marinate it. The skirt steak comes from the plate on the cow. If I'm a cow, right, the plate is down here. The flank is behind it. And everybody's heard of flank steak. Skirt steak is a little bit different. Skirt steak can be a little tougher. I'm going to show you how to get around that. But Skirt steak's a little tougher. So we're going to tenderize it with our marinade. It also has, some people think it has a little richer, a more rich beef flavor to it. So we are going to go ahead and whip up a super easy, crazy, easy marinade. But one of the things we want to be sure we're adding to any marinade for something that's a little tough is something acidic. All right. We need something with a little acid to it. I'm going to use a little bit of balsamic vinegar. I love balsamic. It just screams summer to me. I don't know. Eleanor, I want you to do another poll for me if you can, then. And I'd love it if you could ask if folks are growing gardens this summer and what they've got coming in right now. Because we have volunteer tomatoes, and tomatoes actually make a great marinade. You can run them through a blender or a food processor because tomatoes are acidic. But we have got volunteer tomatoes, and they're all cherries, different size of cherry tomatoes, but none of the good. I like the really good, like purple Cherokee tomatoes, and the yellow tomatoes. I like to have a range of colors with it all, but we are going to do a little balsamic and a little Worcestershire. I still can't say it. I'm never going to be able to. We're going to add a little bit of honey to the mix, a little sugar. Do you guys have one of these honey things? I just got this one. I got it for my husband because he is obsessed with making himself tea. We just did a whole, it was a little tiny addition. I don't know if you can tell behind me. I'm sure you can't. But now we extended our cabinets over and our countertop and everything. And now we have a cupboard just for tea and coffee. I feel so fancy. But I got him this little.
I did want to share with you, the survey results are in and people are joining from Long Island, New York, Southern California,
I love Long
San
Island.
Jose, Northern New Jersey, North Bethesda, Maryland, Woodland Hills, California, Georgia, Orlando, Florida, Louisville, Kentucky, Seattle.
Seattle, I think, is my favorite city I've ever been to. And I lived in New York for 7.5 years.
Phoenix,
and I love New York.
Albuquerque, New
Dying to go.
Mexico, Reno, Nevada, far and wide, Florida, Durham, North Carolina, Minnesota.
Is my Hawaii girl here?
Let's see, I don't see Hawaii.
Or
The
the
Villages.
Bronx? Lisa, oh, the Villages. We always get the Villages. I should do a class for y'all down in the Villages.
Nebraska.
Right. Oh, I love Nebraska. This is so much fun for me. All right. While the more things are coming in, I'm going to go ahead and do some scallions here. Eleanor, the other day, okay, I got to give you a little backstory. I am taking a class this summer on culinary medicine. And if you were with me in June, you heard me say, because I just started this class and I'm almost done, thank goodness, because it's exhausting. I forgot what it's like being in school. I had to do a capstone. I'm doing a capstone project. Did you ever do one, Eleanor?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, okay. They didn't exist back in the 80s when I was in college. I want you to know that. I never in my life have had to do a capstone project. So
it's like
all
a whole
will find
course.
This interesting. It's like what?
It's a whole course. I took a whole course. It was called, yeah.
One capstone?
Yeah.
Ugh. All right. So ours is, I've got 2 scallions I'm adding in here. Our culinary medicine course is almost done. We have to do this capstone. I've never done a capstone. I'm like all in though. I want mine to be the best of all of them, of course, because I'm super competitive. So I am doing mine on meal planning in menopause. Now, Eleanor is still fresh and young, but I will tell you, I have all of these books. Like this course is from George Washington University, nothing about menopause. I bought a book, Nutrition for Chefs. Love it. Nothing. It's
Hmm.
addressed anywhere. So I'm like, I'm addressing it. I'm going to address it.
Yeah, why not?
That's my thing right now.
And I did want to tell
Yeah.
you,
So in my class, oh, go ahead.
oh, there was a response on whether or not people are growing gardens. So
I bet
there
they
there
are.
are a few people
They're
who
not
are
going to.
growing gardens. One person said Italian and Japanese eggplant, sweet banana peppers,
Oh,
cherry tomatoes, basil, sage, parsley, dill, zucchini.
do you guys know the difference between the two different eggplants that were mentioned? First of all, I'm super jealous. I absolutely love eggplant. I'm the only person in my family who does. I'm going to chop up mince, actually, a garden. It is from my friend's garden, a garlic clove. And the smaller you make your garlic, the more pungent it is. So I'm going to go all in here. But the Japanese eggplants are skinny. They're like skinny little eggplants. And if you ever go to a Chinese restaurant, that's what you're going to get, the little Japanese eggplant. And they are thin and they're shorter. And then those big globe eggplant with a really bulbous bottom, those are your Italian eggplant. I think flavor wise, they're pretty similar. Little nuances, but it depends what you're going to use it for. If you're going to make me a good eggplant parm, I want that big, fat, bulbous bottom eggplant.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of zucchini and a lot of beefsteak tomatoes being grown.
Yes. Oh, that's so good. My dad used to try to get me to eat raw tomatoes when I was a kid, and I was like, ugh. And he would always say, Chrissy, there's nothing better than a good tomato in the middle of the summer. And I was like, what do you know, Dad? Ugh. And now I'm always like, there's nothing better than a good tomato in the middle of summer. Oh, I think I owe that man an apology somewhere. All right. So, got some garlic. Look how much garlic that is. That was a big clove. But I will tell you this. Give me a second here. Oh, good gravy. When you're doing a marinade, I think little pungency is what we want because it's not going to be in here that long. We need every ingredient to kind of make itself known here. Now, you saw I'm not even using a bowl, right? We get older, we get smarter. Alrighty. And it doesn't look like a ton of marinade, but this is really important. We're not going to use this marinade after the beef goes into it. Is that not the perfect size for two people? Gosh, I love that. These are about 8 ounces each. So it's just what we want. And I'm going to squeeze out a bunch of the air. All right. All right, Eleanor, next poll question. You ready?
Sure.
I want to know if people are grilling their steaks this summer. Are people using steak this summer? I'm not sure how to phrase this, but I want to know what they're grilling this summer. I'm going to take this and just set it over here. And I've got my stinky garlic hands, so I'm going to do the old stainless steel rub down. Get that off.
Christine, I did receive a note that when the polls are uploaded, they do overtake the screen. So
okay.
Might
So we'll be judicious with the polls. We'll be judicious. All right. I got it. I'm going to leave it out because I'm going to cook it within the next, I'd say definitely within the next 30 minutes. Okay. That is the only reason that I'm going to leave it out for us. I typically don't like to cook a cold steak. When I'm something like this is very thin, right? So it's going to cook quickly for us. I don't want to wrestle with it being cold. So I will pull it out. I like yes, no other. All right. See, and you can just hit close up in the corner there and it'll go back to the screen. So, all right,
You're getting an
here we go.
overwhelming yes.
Oh, everybody is. I just got a new grill and I'm so thrilled by it. I finally bucked up. All right, now has anybody ever seen this guy? Have you guys ever seen this? This is called a butter bell, and this keeps your butter soft on your countertop. Wow, look at that. Okay, we've got a bunch. I'm going to show you guys how to do this one in the broiler, just in case it's not your vibe. But this butter bell, this is the neatest thing. I just changed the water out, and I had this. I used a little cold water. And then you squish your butter into the top, right? You get nice and soft, squish it in, and then you just change out your water. And it keeps it soft. So like my house gets very chilly in the summer. Excuse me. Well, I try in the summer, but in the winter, it keeps it soft the whole time for me, which I love. I know it feels a little unnecessary. It is. Now, we're going to make a couscous salad. Couscous. And what I have right here is a pearl couscous, which is a little bigger. This is not a grain. It is a pasta. All right, I think we're changing. There we go. All right, so I put just a touch of butter. You could skip this step if you want. But do you guys ever remember, I'm going to call out a brand name, Rice-A-Roni. Do you guys remember that? The San Francisco treat. And that was my comfort food. My mom would make that on Thursday evenings when my dad had to work late. And she would always slap the margarine. It was always margarine, never real butter. She'd slap the margarine in the pan, throw that box in, and stir it around until parts of it started to toast. Then she'd pour in the water and the seasoning pack. No seasoning pack here. But this is just a big old bag of couscous, pearled couscous that I bought. You can buy a little one. The bags I like because I feel like it's a little more cost efficient and I'm a little more in control of what I'm going to make. And pasta salads, technically this is a pasta salad, but people won't think of it that way because it's the couscous. I also got the 3-color. So it's primarily the white, but there's some orange and green in there too. Anything to kick up your salad a little bit, right? That's what we're going for. All right, so I am just going to toast this. Now I have 1.5 times the water, or in this case, I'm going to use a little bit of vegetable broth for 1 cup of the couscous. And a great thing to do here, if you're trying to, I don't know, healthy it up a little bit, but you're not trying to be extreme. And that's one of the things I'm learning in this class I'm taking, right? I'm pumping up the veg and everything. I'm really pumping it up. I'm really adding a lot more than I used to. So it'll almost be equal veg to the couscous. All right. Which is good. Oh, Eleanor, I just shot couscous across the room. That's so funny.
Oh no, we didn't see that.
It's so, whenever I just start randomly laughing, you know something has happened. All right. I'm going to add this in. And because I'm using veg stock, I'm not going to add in any salt right here. All right. And we're going to cook this, let's say, for about 15 minutes. I'm going to bring it up to the boil. Then we're going to turn it down. And there's little teeny tiny couscous. I'm sure you guys have seen that. And you kind of, after you pull it out, you separate it with your hands to do it, you know, the traditional way. This, we're not going to worry about that because we're just going straight in with these big guys. I really like these. All right, you guys can see that there. Very exciting watching that boil. Oh, look, you can see my carpet. All right. So I've got that going. I'm going to turn that down because I just want a simmer here. I just want a simmer. All righty. Now, let's make our dressing, shall we? We can get rid of our butterbell. I'm just going to flip that steak over. Tell you what, I'm going to leave it right there for us. And then we're going to get into it. This is a big cucumber, but I'm into it. There we go. And what we're going to do, because we're flavoring that couscous, right? We're flavoring it from the inside out. It's going to lend a lot of flavor to our salad without adding a lot of extra stuff. I, of course, have my parsley. It looks like a pom-pom, right? And we're going to use a little red onion, a little red bell pepper, but whatever your vibe is, whatever you have hanging out in your fridge or in your garden, throw it in. I have my herbs are going crazy. My craziest herb right now is oregano. I have so much oregano. I don't even know what to do with it all. All right, so we're going here. Let's make some vinaigrette, shall we? We're going to use some lemons, and I think we should use always a little of the lemon zest. This is called a grater. This is just a takeoff. You guys have seen this before. You can use this. Some people now, I'm watching the chefs and they're pulling it like this. And old dog, new trick. So I want to give a little zap to the recipe. And this is what's going to do it for us. That lemon zest, that is the stuff, man. That is the stuff we want in there. All right. And we're going to end up putting in, this says about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. I might go a little more on it, right? What's a cup of water when you're drowning? We don't care. Oh, there we go. I think I'm going to double up on my dressing here just because I'm a dressing girl. I really like it. And my son had been out the other day and he had picked up some nasty stuff. He was picking up some trash. And I said, oh, just rub your hands on the sink. He said, don't I need to do lemons? And I said, no, rub your hands on the stainless steel sink. Of course, a lemon is always going to help. Whew. But let's put this aside. We're going to add in another clove of garlic, but check this out. I'll show you a different way to do the garlic. All right, so I'm leaving this guy as big as I can. And I have a friend who has the most epic garden ever. Oh my gosh, I see it and I'm always so jealous. It's just so gorgeous. And she brought me all of these tomatoes and garlic and a couple of onions, I think, and all of that. But then she brought me onions she had chopped and frozen, garlic she had minced, which I love. But check it out. I'm using this grater to grate my garlic. Now, remember what I said about the smaller it is, the more pungent it is? Well, I wasn't lying. That is going to be some pungent garlic. That's going to be yummy in here. So I'm going to take that, boom, right in there. Now, let's see what else we got. We are going to add that in a little bit. Oh, just our salt and pepper. All right. Now, fun fact, the daily recommended allowance of sodium is 2,300 milligrams. That is approximately 1 teaspoon, 1.5 teaspoons of salt. That's it. And the big baddie when it comes to sodium is not typically the salt that you're adding. That counts. Every bit of sodium counts. Naturally occurring sodium, every sodium counts. But that is from processed foods. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to add about twice as much olive oil as we have with this, with our lemon juice. Give it a little taste. Oh, yum. Good. Good, good. All right. You have to watch with olive oil sometimes. It can go really bitter on you. And it's just not as much, sometimes I'll use a combination of olive oil and avocado oil or even veg oil sometimes. But see what I just did here with this cucumber? You never want to cut something that's rolling around on you. Okay, never, ever, ever. So we give it a flat edge and then we can just chop. And I might go out then and see if I've got some tomatoes in the garden like all of you do. All right, now I want to remind everyone, we're going to figure out this chat function for the next class, I promise. But I think it's, Eleanor, is it September 7th?
That is right. Yep, September 7th.
It's not Labor Day weekend, but it's the weekend after. And do you remember what the menu is?
I do. I could pull it up right now. And I will send out the registration for the next class in the post-event email. Okay, it's
good.
Crispy oven fried chicken, panzanella, and a chocolate chip cookie cake.
Yes. So panzanella is the tomato bread salad because, the very beginning of September, we still, here in Maryland, we still have so many ding dang tomatoes. So panzanella uses, see that, day old bread, and you give it a little crisp up. And some people go, oh, I don't like soggy bread. Totally okay. You don't have to make it that way. I'll give you an alternative. But it's so good. It's one of my favorite summer treats because you have to have good ripe tomatoes to make a panzanella. And then because I have been cranking out these desserts for 2 people. It's been a lot of fun. We were coming back from a funeral, not a lot of fun. And we stopped outside of Gettysburg and there's a farm stand there and they had sugar plums. And I had, everybody's heard of sugar plums. I didn't know they were an actual thing. And I bought some. They were a little more tart than I was ready for, but I bought some and I don't want to make a dessert that's going to feed 6 of us or 8 of us because we're going to eat it all. And my husband's pre-diabetic. I'm chunky. I'm trying to have a little control here and I hate throwing food out. So I have been working really hard on having great desserts. But hi, Maria, welcome aboard. But I just want to make a dessert for 2 people instead of for the masses. Or I was just on a podcast interview with some gals over in the UK, and they called it feeding the 5,000, I think was their phrase that they used. All right, let's
Christine,
take this
I see
off.
Robin has her hand up. Robin, would you like to ask a question?
Yes, I love that. Yeah, if you have a question, put your hand up.
Robin Kaufman? Maybe not? Okay.
Oh, that's very exciting. All right, I'm going to do some red bell pepper for us here. If you have a question, let me know. I'd love to hear your voice.
If you have a question, go ahead and raise your hand. Okay, Dot has a question.
All right, Dot, let's bring it.
I'm going to make this meal tomorrow. Can I marinate the meat overnight?
Heck yeah, you can, Dot.
Okay, thank you.
First of all, no, hold on, Dot. You just made my whole day. I got goosebumps. You're really going to make this tomorrow?
Yeah.
Dot, you're amazing. Are you going to do skirt steak?
I have flat iron.
Yeah, nice. Nice. Definitely marinate that, right? It's gonna give you a little more return if you do.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Nice. Hey, and Dot, make sure you let me know like how that turns out.
Will do.
All right. Thanks,
All
Dot.
right, now Susan G has a question. Susan.
All right,
Yes.
Susan.
So I misread, and so I pre-made a whole bunch. I didn't read couscous. I read quinoa. So I made a
Oh.
whole bunch of quinoa, and I'm concentrating on the salad because I'm vegetarian. So can I do the same thing with quinoa, do you think?
Yeah. Of course you can. I think that's fantastic.
I'll let
And
you know how it comes out.
Yes, please do, because quinoa is so good. It's an ancient grain from Peru, and it's a high protein grain. And protein is something that we need a lot as we're getting older. So you are amazing.
You are too. Thank you so much.
Oh, stop. Thank you. All right, if y'all have questions, let's do this thing. I love this. I just got my day made, Eleanor. All
I
right.
know, we apologize about the chat function. We'll have that
figure it
for
out.
the next class, but
And listen, folks, we're not seeing your face. So there are no dumb questions. You know me, I'm going to answer anything for you. So any question you have, you just let me know. And we're going to go for it. All right. So I've got my onion here, and you saw I just ran right through that poor thing. What kind of a cooking teacher am I? So I cut the onion through the root, little lopsided. And what that does, all of my OGs know, and you guys know what OG is, right? Original gangster. That means you've been here with me for a while. That we cut it through the root so that all stays together when we're chopping it. And we could go through like that, but we're going to do my lazy way. If I can get that back in there. My goodness. All right. If raw red onion bothers you, rinse it in cold running water. That will give you a little way to remove some of the pungency. Now, I actually really love red onions. I think what I'll probably do is pickle the other half later. Nothing says a Sunday morning to me like a toasted everything bagel with pickled red onion and some lox or some smoked salmon. So good. Now, if you're looking at that and you're like, Chef Chris, that is way too much darn onion. I hear you. Don't use as much. Just use what you like. All right. And check this out. This is a thing I want y'all to see. Look at this. Look how that's all just the veggies in there. How good is that? We love that. Oh, that means my couscous is almost ready. And I am going to do something crazy with the couscous. I should probably use a bigger pan, but let's see. Oh, so good. I don't want to put this in my salad warm. Okay. Couple of reasons. I don't really want to wilt my veg. Oh, yeah. Go. You go. I don't want that cucumber to not be crisp. Now, you can actually braise a cucumber, cook a cucumber, and it's delicious, but that's not what we're going for. I was talking to somebody the other day who was nervous. She was having people over for dinner, and she said, I don't cook. I said, the goal of summer is to just not mess up the food, right? That's all it is, because it's so good, and I don't care where you are going to have something beautiful in season right now. Nebraska, I know you've got it. Northern Jersey, come on, Jersey Farm Fresh. We know all about this. So here we go. I'm going to take my couscous because we're just trying not to mess it up, right? So the only two things that are really cooked here today are the couscous or the quinoa. We love the quinoa. And I'm just going to spread it out because I want it to cool off a bit for us before I put it in there. So I'm even going to grab a cooling rack. Now, my dirty little secret when I'm cooking at home, I might have told you guys this before. I have a vent for the air conditioning right here. I have literally laid things on top of the bed with no shame. No shame. I don't care, to try to cool it down. All right. So this is the one I used there. We're going to put that. Oh, come on. It's just as easy as a little bit of chopped up veggies. And you know what else I have? I have some toasted almonds. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do those separately because I forgot my husband doesn't eat the almonds. He doesn't eat the nuts. So we're just going to leave this on the side, ready to go. And we're going to pop that steak into the oven. Now, let's fold this off. And when class is over, this is so much fun. I bought myself a pizza oven. I was like, yeah. So just one of those little home outdoor pizza ovens. And I have some pizza dough that I made yesterday, and I'm going to make sandwiches out of all of this. There we go. Now, that marinade, trash. I know, you're thinking, no, I want to use it. I want to make it a sauce. Technically, I think that you could boil it for a certain amount of time. I've got my oven on broil here. So I'm going to go 5 minutes and then we'll check it. All right, what was I saying? Eleanor, I lose track of myself so
You bought a
easily.
pizza oven.
Bought the pizza oven. I made sandwiches last night where I took the pizza dough and I pressed it all out, added a little olive oil to it, and then a little shredded mozzarella, closed it up, and threw it in. And I know you're thinking calzone. No. Cooked it. I'm still learning. I gave myself a nasty burn last week, but still learning. Cooked it, brought it in, pried it open. The cheese is all melty. And then I stuffed it with, I have to show you my big bounty. I stuffed it with prosciutto and arugula and fresh figs. And these are not from our fig tree, which is going to produce its first fruit. Hey, Teresa, welcome aboard. This is from a neighbor. They're going on vacation and they want us to pick their figs for them. I'm like, heck yeah. So I can't wait till my own come in. So I'm going to make that at lunch again today. All right. Our steak is doing its thing. I want to show you the easiest dessert known to mankind. Okay. And we are going to make a lemon mousse. Now, I have got some heavy cream because my vibe is this. We are trying to healthy up a little on the main courses. And I always say I'm healthy-ish, but I'm not trying to go crazy because that's just not who I am. But dessert, I believe dessert should be fantastic and enjoyed. And as simple as this is, it's so good. This is a bit of heavy cream. And I'm just going to beat the heavy cream until it's a soft piece for us, okay? The whisk I'm using is called a balloon whisk. It's super big. The bigger the whisk, the more air it helps feed in, okay? Could I use the mixer? Sure, but I'm no quitter. So I'm going to do this. I did this the other night. I made Abel skivers. Has anybody ever heard of Abel skivers? And I might be saying it wrong. I think Nebraska, you might have them out there. Minnesota, if I have anybody from Minnesota, I believe they're Dutch. Yeah. And to get your cream to really whip up, make sure, oh, hello, Lisa Check. Does Lisa have a question?
I was going to tell you about Able Skeevers.
Yes, tell me about able skeevers because I just made some the other night. Everybody's now like, what the heck is an able skeever? Tell them.
Oh, they're little round pancakes, and they originate in Denmark. And we, I'm a Californian, and we used to go up to Solvang and get them.
Yes.
And now, yeah, and now they're a big thing in my family. Like every holiday, we have to have able skeevers. So, and all of us have able skeever pans. It's a thing.
So they're these little round pancakes, and you have to have a special pan.
The big sheet.
I was thinking about maybe doing these in a class, Lisa. I used to make them in my summer camps, but you use this special little pan, and
Yeah.
I use a chopstick to turn them. They cook really quickly, but they use some beaten egg white to give them lift.
Oh, we never used egg whites. Mostly some of the cheaters just use pancake mix. And then we also filled them, which you put a little jam inside.
I filled them. I did one with a strawberry jam and I did one with a fig and ginger jam.
Ooh, yeah.
And it was so good. It was so good. All right. I see that Catherine has a question. Catherine, first of all, that's a great picture. You look really happy in that picture. All right, Catherine, what you got for me?
I had a question. So I missed what you put in the bowl. Was that the lemon curd and the half and half, or the heavy cream?
It's just the heavy cream.
Oh,
that's all it is. There's nothing else in there.
Okay, and where do you get, or how do you make lemon curd? Is that something you buy?
I am so glad you asked, Catherine. All right, so lemon curd is totally available if you want to buy lemon curd. And that's one of the reasons I did this recipe, because it is something that you can get in the baking aisle, right? You can get in the baking aisle at your grocery store. You might be able to get lime curd too. I'm going to flip these steaks real quick. Woo, they're having a time.
Christine,
yeah, they are.
Kathleen has a question for you.
All right, hang on 1 second, Kathleen. I'm going to hit you. Oh, look at that. I'm going to give that like 4 minutes now. Because remember, you can add time, but you can't take it away. So lemon curd is easily available at the grocery store. The recipe that I'm using, I made it this morning because I have a high-speed blender. You can make lemon curd, takes about 45 minutes if you do a double boiler over your stove. By using one of those high-speed blenders, it cooked itself in the blender while it was going. Super easy to do. All right, Kathleen.
I just want to clarify with you that you put the skirt steak in on broil, correct?
Yes.
For 5 minutes, and then you flipped it, and you're doing it for 4.
Yes, ma'am.
That's it. I just wanted to clarify.
You're fantastic. I love the clarification. Thank you so much. Yeah, because, okay, so I could do this on the grill. And if you all are interested, I can do a grilling class for us. If we want, that could be our October class. If y'all are interested, you got to let me know.
Phyllis has a question for you.
All right, give it to me.
Wondering if I didn't see the recipes. I saw the ingredients, but I didn't see the recipes. And I'm wondering, could you, when you give it to us, could you also give us the recipe for lemon curd?
Sure.
Yeah,
Phyllis, all the recipes will be shared in the post-event email.
And I'll tell you what I'll do, because the lemon curd is a recipe that I picked up from a website called The Kitchen, Kitchen. There's no E. And it's just called an easy blender lemon curd. But I will tell you, you absolutely must have the high-speed blender, because I did it in mine. I think the last time I made it, I didn't flip it to high, right, when we put it into work speed. So it didn't work quite as well. And so I went back and then did that. It's really important because there are eggs in lemon curd, and we got to make sure those eggs are cooked.
Yes.
You know, the elderly, pregnant women, have to be anybody immunocompromised. We got to be careful with the raw eggs. So here's what I'm doing. I'm taking my lemon curd and I'm just taking a little bit of that whipped cream, and I didn't put any sugar in that. There's plenty of sugar in this. Okay. I put a little in to lighten the mixture. And that just means to make it ready to accept the other. And I made my lemon curd, about 2.5 hours ago, maybe. And it'll still set up a little more. I should have made it last night. I just take it and go in and eat spoonfuls of it. I'm so bad. And then we're going to just fold this guy. And folding, of course, we're digging in. I'm right-handed, so I go around the left edge to the center and then pull it straight through. And I do it while I'm turning the bowl. Right? I do it like that. And it's just, you can add as much cream. Again, I'm not ever going to make you diet desserts here. We're always going to do the real thing and appreciate what we have. All right. And then, all I smell is steak. It smells so good. Eleanor, I wish you were here with me.
Christine, I think Anne has a question for you.
And yes, please.
My question is this. Can you use a oven tabletop broiler, so you're not heating up your whole kitchen with the stove?
Yes, you are so good. All right, so let's discuss that. Woo! Can you hear the sizzle? And let me tell you, as a person who, let's just say I am sensitive to heat at this phase of my life, I am with you. I would not have, I'll tell you what, I would not have hesitated to use the air fryer on this. I know it seems like sacrilege. Tell me what you mean by the broiler.
So I have a little tabletop, oven, and I use it a lot because it's very hot where I am. And
Yeah,
the
where are you?
broiler and the parchment paper, I don't like a lot of mess. So I'm wondering, should I also do that? I don't know.
Okay, well, I'll tell you. So let me tell you a funny story about, first of all, I've got my couscous. It has cooled down a bit, so I'm just going to add it in here. I had just got this pizza oven. It's new this summer. And I have decided that one of the things I really want to learn how to make are bagels. So I want to do a wood-fired bagel. So I pulled a recipe from a website that is very well respected. And they said, oh, we use parchment paper to help our bagels. And then they said, we have this special parchment paper that you can buy. And I was like, of course you do. I have professional parchment paper. I'm fine. I swear that parchment paper incinerated before it even hit in there. So if you are broiling, no parchment paper. All right?
Yes.
Okay. Because it was so funny. I've never seen anything go up in flames so quickly in my entire life. And of course I put like 6 bagels in. It was hilarious.
Okay, but you can use that little
yeah,
oven.
like a little, almost like a posh toaster oven.
Yeah, a toaster oven, yeah.
Yeah, sure. But it should have a broil feature.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. If it has a broil feature, I mean, I'm obsessed with, I am not a gadget girly at all. I'm obsessed with that silly air fryer because it's the same thing, right? Same idea. But yeah, I love it because my kitchen never gets hot. Have you ever done, do you like salmon?
I love salmon.
Okay, so you have to go back a couple of classes. I think they're on YouTube. You have to go back a couple of classes. I did an air fryer salmon.
Yes, they're
Okay.
all on our AARP Maryland's YouTube channel.
Yeah. Go back and look at it because I'm telling you, it's my favorite thing. I would have done this on the grill, but like I said to Eleanor, I didn't know if I wanted to. I could have taken y'all in my backyard with me. It's a great backyard. All right, let's see where we are here. Now, this is really important. I want to show you guys this because this is really important and you're going to have chewy steak if you don't listen here. You can see, remember how we see, how go against the grain, something like that. The grain are these lines. I want to make sure y'all can see them. They're just the natural fiber of how the meat goes. If we cut with the grain, we cut along those lines, parallel to those lines, we're going to have meat floss, okay? It is going to be tough and chewy. So we see this, you have options. And I know you're thinking it's so funny to cut it on the short way. If that gets you, you can cut it in half. I mean, hello, baby. And then take it, and we always cut against the grain. Because if you cut against the grain, much more tender. Much, much, much more tender. All right? Now, don't forget either, since I just whipped these puppies out of the oven, that you always want to make sure the meat has some time to rest. Super important. It's that whole idea of, I always talk about dancing at holiday parties when it's so hot and you get so hot inside, and when you go outside, you're still sweating. That's the steak. All right, so I can see how this is running here. I'm just going to cut it. If you have a really nice long skirt steak, cut it into 4 pieces. Doesn't matter. You just have to go parallel. Look at, come on. Perfect. Oh my gosh, look at that. I'm surprised the 5,000 aren't drooling at the door waiting for this. So don't forget, we want you to sign up for the next class. If you're into it, Eleanor and I are going to totally figure out the chat. This is your final opportunity. If you have a question, I want to know it. Like, really, I love your questions. They're a highlight for me. So if you have any questions before we turn into our day, raise a hand now. Drop Eleanor a message. Let me know.
Go ahead and raise your hand. Oh, here's a few. Okay, let's start. Okay. Let's start. Kathleen, go ahead and unmute yourself. Okay.
Hi, did you say Catherine or Kathleen? I'm unmuted, Catherine.
There's Catherine and
go
Kathleen.
ahead and give us a question.
Okay, my question is, when I'm cooking steaks, sometimes what I do is I count the rest time ahead. Like in my mind, I take it out a few minutes early and I put it on the counter and I tent it with aluminum foil to finish. Is that a good way?
That's a great way.
Okay.
Next month, you're teaching the class.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's perfect.
Kathleen? Kathleen Sweet?
Oh, Kathy Sweet.
In here. Okay,
Kathy, I can't quite hear you. Let's go on to, can we go on to Kelly, and then we'll come back to Kathy.
Hi, can you all hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. I know that you all were talking about not saving the marinade, and then we kind of got sidetracked with something else. What was the reason for not saving the marinade?
It's not safe.
Okay.
It's from a food safety standpoint. It's been with the raw meat. So, I even did a no, picking it up with this then. I'm super conscious about making sure raw and cooked never cross paths. So the marinade has been sitting with the raw meat. It's a food safety concern. Now, I have heard that if you boil it for 3 minutes, not simmer it, boil it hard, you can use it then. But there's simply not enough in there to do that. I don't know where I put it. There's just not enough in there.
And then Linda, if you'd like to come off mute and ask your question.
Yes, can you hear me?
We can.
Great. This is the first time I've attended one of these cooking classes. And so you mentioned some of the earlier classes, like with a salmon. So I was wondering, where would I go to catch? I heard you say somewhere on YouTube, but I'm not quite sure where I would go.
Linda, I can.
Are you going to send it?
Yes.
Yes.
So in the post-event email, when I send out the recording of this class, it will actually be linked to our YouTube channel, and they're all in a folder on YouTube, Cooking Class with Chef Christine. So you can go back and watch today's class, and at your leisure, you can go back and watch any of our previous classes with Christine, which, Christine, we've been working with you for many years. So
For many
there are an
years.
abundance of recipes in there.
AARP Maryland is such, I say it every time. I mean, for heaven's sake, I'm wearing the shirt, right? But I absolutely just love working with them. And I love teaching these classes with you guys. I'm a little bummed about the chat, but we're going to get it figured out.
And we love you, Christine. Yep. And if you have
stop.
a question, if anybody has a question after today's class, feel free to write our mailbox. It's listed in the post-event email. It's md@aarp.org, and I'd be happy to pass it along to Christine and get it answered for you. So.
And sometimes people will search me out on social. You can find, I have a decent social presence. You can just do a little Google around that and see if you can find that. But always happy to answer your questions. Always, always, always. So, and if you have something you really want to learn, I teach a class for AARP Maryland that is available nationwide every first Saturday of the month. So it works out really well, and you can always find here. Of course, these classes are always free. Pat, you just had a picture come up, and my goodness, that's a great picture. You look
Thank
so
you
nice.
very much. Are you going to plate the salad and meat?
All right, so I have put a little of the salad there. I'm so glad you asked. And I will tell you, one of my favorite things to do is actually, oh, don't hate me because I'm beautiful. Here we go. I love arugula, love arugula. I like it because it's crisp, it holds up well, it is slightly peppery, which just makes it my favorite. So I will make a little bed of the arugula here, and arugula stands up to that steak too, which is so nice. But I would take, now look, this is 2 of these. So you try to tell me that this isn't enough. They're a little pricey, I'll be honest with you. I felt that it was all a little more than it usually is right now. I guess it's summer. And I would plate a little bit of that salad right there. What do you think? And I would do that. Just real easy. And
beautiful.
Then there is our lemon mousse. So there we go, friends. All right, find me if you have questions, send them to Eleanor. Our next class is Saturday, September 7th.
Yep, 11 a.m. Eastern.
11 a.m. Eastern time. And for all of you that are in a different time zone, I'm super grateful. Thank you. And for all of you that are in my time zone, and especially you guys who are local, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today. So, Eleanor, I'll see you next month. And
Okay.
everybody have a great rest of your summer. I'll see you in September.
I think you should share who's gonna enjoy the meal.
Oh, I have an out-of-town guest from Ohio. I have my daughter and her boyfriend. Boyfriend's lovely mother is coming over. All of a sudden, I'm having a party today.
It's just wonderful. Wonderful.
I'm glad I have it.
Thank you. Okay, thanks everybody. Have a great day. Thank
Thanks,
you,
everyone. I'll see you
Christine.
next month. Thanks, Eleanor.